I want to start with a question. What if I told you that some of the foods you eat every single day could either raise or lower one of the most important hormones in your body, testosterone? For men, testosterone is deeply connected to strength, energy, mood, and vitality. For women, it still plays a crucial role in bone health, muscle tone, motivation, and even libido. Yet in today's world, so many people struggle with low or imbalanced testosterone levels without even realizing it. That's why this matters. Low testosterone can leave you feeling tired, unmotivated, foggy, and weaker than you used to be. It can affect mood, relationships, and long-term health. The good news? Nature has already provided us with foods that can help support and optimize testosterone naturally. And today, I'm going to walk you through the best foods to include in your diet if you want to give your body the building blocks it needs for healthy testosterone. But before I dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried changing your diet to improve your energy, mood, or hormone balance? If so, what worked for you or what didn't? Leave me a comment below because your experience might help someone else watching this video. All right, let's get started. When it comes to testosterone, think of it like building a house. You can't build a solid house without the right raw materials. In the same way, your body can't make enough testosterone if it doesn't have the right nutrients. Testosterone is made from cholesterol, so healthy fats are essential. It's regulated by key vitamins and minerals like vitamin D, zinc, and magnesium. It's also influenced by protein intake, blood sugar control, and even the balance of your gut bacteria. Every food choice you make is either helping your body build hormones or holding it back. Let's begin with one of the most powerful categories: foods rich in healthy fats. For years, fat was unfairly demonized, but we now know that healthy fats are crucial for hormone production. Testosterone is a steroid hormone, which means it's literally built from cholesterol. That doesn't mean you should overload on junk food or processed fats, but it does mean that high-quality sources of natural fats can make a big difference. One of my top recommendations is eggs. Eggs are one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can eat, and the yolk is where the real magic happens. Egg yolks provide cholesterol, vitamin D, and other fat-soluble nutrients that your body uses as building blocks for testosterone. Many people worry about cholesterol, but unless you've been told otherwise by your doctor for specific health conditions, moderate egg consumption is safe and incredibly beneficial. Eating the whole egg, not just the whites, gives your body what it needs for hormone health. Another excellent fat source is olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil has been linked in research to improve testosterone levels and better cardiovascular health. It's rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants that help reduce inflammation, which is important because chronic inflammation can suppress testosterone production. Swapping processed vegetable oils for olive oil in your cooking and salads is one of the simplest, most effective changes you can make. Now let's talk about another powerful fat source: avocados. Avocados are loaded with monounsaturated fats, potassium, and magnesium. These nutrients don't just support testosterone, they also help with overall energy and blood sugar control. Stable blood sugar is key because frequent spikes and crashes in glucose can lower testosterone over time. Adding half an avocado to your breakfast or using avocado as a base for sauces and dips is an easy way to get more of these supportive fats. Next, let's shift to protein sources, because protein plays a direct role in maintaining lean muscle mass, and muscle mass itself influences testosterone. One of the best protein sources for testosterone support is lean red meat in moderation. Beef provides zinc, iron, and vitamin B12, three nutrients that are vital for energy and testosterone production. The key here is moderation and quality. Choose grass-fed beef when possible, and balance it with plenty of vegetables and fiber to support digestion. If you don't eat red meat or you want more variety, seafood is another fantastic option. Oysters, in particular, are famous for their zinc content. Zinc is one of the most important minerals for testosterone. A deficiency can lead to a significant drop in testosterone levels, while adequate zinc intake supports healthy production. Oysters are the richest food source of zinc, but other shellfish like crab and lobster are also excellent. Salmon and fatty fish deserve special mention as well. Salmon is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which lower inflammation and improve blood flow. Better blood flow means better delivery of nutrients and oxygen throughout the body, supporting everything from workout recovery to reproductive health. Salmon is also one of the best natural sources of vitamin D, which is absolutely essential for testosterone. In fact, vitamin D isn't just a vitamin, it's a hormone itself, and low vitamin D is strongly linked to low testosterone. If you live in a place where sunlight is limited or you spend most of your time indoors, your vitamin D levels might already be low. Eating fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines can give you a powerful boost. Now, let's not forget plant-based foods that can make a huge difference. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts are excellent choices. They contain compounds that help the body regulate estrogen levels. Now, don't get me wrong, both men and women need estrogen, but when estrogen levels climb too high relative to testosterone, it can create an imbalance. Cruciferous vegetables help your body maintain that balance by supporting the liver in metabolizing excess estrogen. Another plant-based powerhouse is garlic. Garlic contains allicin, a compound that can help lower cortisol, your body's main stress hormone. Why does that matter for testosterone? Because cortisol and testosterone compete with each other. When cortisol is high, testosterone often drops. By keeping cortisol under control, you give your testosterone a better chance to thrive. Adding fresh garlic to your meals is an easy, delicious way to support this balance. Let's also talk about nuts, particularly almonds and walnuts. These nuts provide healthy fats, magnesium, and antioxidants. Magnesium is a mineral that supports testosterone production and also helps improve sleep quality. And sleep, by the way, is one of the most underrated factors in hormone health. Without enough deep restorative sleep, your testosterone levels will suffer no matter what you eat. So foods that support relaxation and better sleep, like magnesium-rich nuts, are incredibly valuable. Speaking of magnesium, let's talk about dark leafy greens such as spinach and kale. These vegetables are packed with magnesium, iron, and vitamin C. Spinach has long been considered a superfood for strength, and there's some truth to that reputation. Magnesium helps regulate hundreds of processes in your body, including the production of testosterone. Including a handful of spinach in your smoothie or salad is a simple way to improve your intake. Now, one of my favorite foods to recommend for testosterone is pomegranate. This fruit is rich in antioxidants that support blood flow and reduce oxidative stress. Studies have suggested that pomegranate juice may help raise testosterone levels and improve mood. Plus, it's refreshing and delicious. Just be mindful of portion sizes, because fruit juice can be high in sugar. A small glass or sprinkling the seeds over yogurt or salad is plenty. Another fruit worth mentioning is bananas. Bananas contain bromelain, an enzyme that has been linked to supporting testosterone. They also provide vitamin B6, which helps your body regulate hormones and neurotransmitters. Bananas are also great for quick energy and potassium, which helps balance fluid levels and muscle contractions. We can't talk about testosterone-friendly foods without mentioning beans and legumes. Lentils, chickpeas, and black beans are all high in zinc, magnesium, and plant-based protein. They're also full of fiber, which supports gut health. Believe it or not, your gut microbiome plays a role in hormone balance. A healthy gut helps your body absorb nutrients more effectively and keeps inflammation under control, both of which are critical for testosterone. Another powerful yet often overlooked food is ginger. Ginger has been used for centuries for its medicinal properties, and modern studies suggest that it may support testosterone levels by improving blood flow, reducing oxidative stress, and even enhancing luteinizing hormone, which signals the body to produce more testosterone. Drinking ginger tea or adding fresh ginger to stir fries and smoothies is a simple way to enjoy these benefits. And let's not forget pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are one of the best plant-based sources of zinc and magnesium, two of the key minerals I've been mentioning again and again. They're also easy to snack on or sprinkle over salads, oatmeal, or yogurt. Just a small handful each day can help ensure you're not falling short on these important nutrients. I'll pause here and ask, are you already eating some of these foods, or are most of them new to you? Drop a comment below and let me know which ones you're excited to try, because the more interactive this conversation is, the more it will motivate others to take action too. Now, while we're on the subject of seeds, let's talk about another underrated powerhouse, flax seeds. Flax seeds contain lignans and omega-3 fatty acids. There's some debate about how flax influences testosterone because lignans can interact with estrogen, but when eaten in moderation, flax can actually help the body balance hormones and fight inflammation. The key is not to overdo it. Just a spoonful of ground flax seeds in your smoothie or sprinkled on top of yogurt is a great addition to your diet. Speaking of balancing hormones, one of the biggest dietary villains when it comes to testosterone is processed sugar. High sugar intake leads to insulin resistance, weight gain, and inflammation, all of which lower testosterone. That's why choosing foods that stabilize blood sugar is so important. Complex carbs like oats, quinoa, and sweet potatoes are excellent choices. They provide steady energy, fiber, and micronutrients without the rapid spikes and crashes of refined carbs. Oats in particular are interesting because they contain compounds that support the production of luteinizing hormone, which signals the testes to produce more testosterone. Having a bowl of steel-cut oats with nuts, seeds, and berries in the morning can be a fantastic way to start your day on a testosterone-friendly note. Now let's move into one of the most enjoyable categories, spices and herbs. We already talked about garlic and ginger, but turmeric deserves its own spotlight. Turmeric contains curcumin, a compound with powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. Chronic inflammation is one of the hidden enemies of testosterone, and curcumin helps to bring it under control. Adding turmeric to soups, curries, or even golden milk with warm milk and honey can be both delicious and therapeutic. Another herb that has gained attention is ashwagandha. This is an adaptogenic herb that's been used in Ayurvedic medicine for centuries. Modern research suggests that ashwagandha may help increase testosterone levels, reduce stress, and improve energy. While it's not a food you'd typically sprinkle on your dinner, it's often available as a supplement or in powder form that you can mix into smoothies. Of course, always check with your healthcare provider before adding new supplements, but ashwagandha is worth mentioning because of its strong reputation for hormone support. Now let's not forget beverages. What you drink is just as important as what you eat. One of the best beverages for supporting testosterone is green tea. Green tea is packed with antioxidants called catechins, which help reduce stress and support healthy metabolism. There's also some evidence that green tea may help regulate blood sugar and support weight management, which are both critical for testosterone health. Replacing sugary drinks or excessive coffee with a few cups of green tea can be a small change with big benefits. On the topic of drinks, water is often overlooked, but dehydration can directly impact energy, focus, and even hormone balance. Staying well hydrated supports every system in the body, including the production and transport of hormones. A simple rule of thumb is to drink water consistently throughout the day instead of waiting until you're thirsty. If plain water feels boring, you can infuse it with slices of lemon, cucumber, or even a few pomegranate seeds to make it more appealing. Now, here's something really important I want you to understand. Food isn't just about individual nutrients, it's about patterns. Eating one oyster once a month or a handful of spinach once in a while won't make a difference by itself. What really matters is consistency, building a lifestyle where these foods are part of your regular routine. The more consistently you nourish your body with these testosterone-supporting foods, the more resilient and energized you'll feel over time. But food is only one piece of the puzzle. I want to take a moment to talk about how these foods work in combination with lifestyle habits. For example, exercise is a major driver of testosterone production, especially resistance training and high-intensity workouts. If you're combining strength training with a diet rich in zinc, magnesium, and healthy fats, you're giving your body the exact tools it needs to build muscle and produce more testosterone naturally. Sleep is another critical factor. Remember how I mentioned magnesium-rich foods like nuts, seeds, and leafy greens? They help calm the nervous system and improve sleep quality. Without 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night, your testosterone can plummet, even if your diet is perfect. So think of these foods as part of a bigger strategy that includes exercise, rest, and stress management. Speaking of stress, let's circle back to cortisol for a moment. Chronic stress is one of the biggest testosterone killers. That's why foods that help lower stress, like garlic, green tea, and antioxidant-rich fruits, are so important. But beyond food, you also need stress management practices in your daily life. Whether it's meditation, walking in nature, journaling, or connecting with loved ones, lowering stress will protect your testosterone as much as any supplement or superfood. Now, let's go back to food for a moment and talk about dairy. This is a tricky one because not all dairy is created equal. High-quality, full-fat dairy like Greek yogurt or kefir can actually support testosterone because it provides protein, healthy fats, and probiotics for gut health. On the other hand, highly processed dairy products loaded with sugar can do the opposite. If you tolerate dairy well, choose the most natural, minimally processed options you can. Fermented dairy products also provide probiotics, which, as I mentioned earlier, are linked to better hormone balance. Another great option for probiotics is fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, and miso. These foods feed your gut microbiome and help reduce inflammation. A healthier gut equals healthier hormone production. Including a small serving of fermented foods a few times a week can complement the rest of your testosterone-supporting diet. And since we're talking about inflammation again, let me highlight berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries are all packed with antioxidants that fight oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is one of the reasons testosterone levels naturally decline with age. By fighting that stress, you can protect your testosterone and your overall vitality. Tossing a handful of berries into your oats, smoothie, or yogurt is one of the easiest, tastiest upgrades you can make. Now, let's talk about one more fun food, dark chocolate. Yes, chocolate can actually support testosterone, but only when it's the right kind. Dark chocolate with a high cocoa content is rich in antioxidants, magnesium, and healthy fats. It can help lower stress, improve mood, and provide key minerals for testosterone. Just be careful with portion size and quality. Look for dark chocolate with minimal added sugar. At this point, you might be wondering, how do you put all of this together into real meals? That's the fun part. A breakfast could be something like oatmeal topped with pumpkin seeds, berries, and a side of eggs. Lunch might be a salmon salad with avocado, olive oil, and leafy greens. Dinner could be a lean steak or a lentil stew with cruciferous vegetables and garlic. For snacks, you might enjoy a handful of nuts, some Greek yogurt with pomegranate seeds, or a square of dark chocolate with green tea. Do you see the pattern? These are simple, real foods you can find in any grocery store. You don't need exotic powders or expensive supplements to make a real difference. By building meals around these whole, nutrient-rich foods, you're setting yourself up for better energy, focus, strength, and long-term health. I want to pause and remind you that while food is powerful, it's not an instant fix. If your testosterone is already very low, it's important to work with a healthcare provider to investigate the root cause. Sometimes low testosterone can be linked to medical conditions, medications, or other issues that need professional support. But for many people, improving diet and lifestyle can be a game changer even without medical interventions. So let me ask you, if you had to pick just one of these foods to start adding into your weekly routine, which one would it be? Would you go for salmon, spinach, eggs, or maybe pomegranate? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to know what you're inspired to try first. Now that we've gone through so many of these testosterone-boosting foods, I want to take a moment to emphasize balance. Too often, people hear about a superfood and think eating a lot of that one food will solve everything, but your body doesn't work that way. Hormones are part of an interconnected system, and testosterone is no exception. Eating a variety of these foods together is what creates real, lasting change. Think of it this way: zinc from oysters and pumpkin seeds, vitamin D from salmon, magnesium from spinach, antioxidants from berries, and healthy fats from olive oil and avocados. They all work like members of a team. One player can't win the game alone. It's the synergy of these nutrients that helps your body thrive. And here's something else many people overlook. Excess body fat, especially around the abdomen, can lower testosterone because fat tissue converts testosterone into estrogen. That's why eating foods that help you maintain a healthy weight is just as important as focusing on specific nutrients. When you choose whole, unprocessed foods over sugary snacks and refined carbs, you're supporting both your weight and your hormones at the same time. Another key factor is alcohol. I know it's not a food, but it's important to mention. Excessive alcohol intake can significantly reduce testosterone levels. It impacts the liver, disrupts sleep, and throws off hormone regulation. If you do drink, keeping it moderate or occasional will protect your testosterone. And if you're serious about optimizing your levels, cutting back or taking breaks from alcohol altogether can be one of the most powerful steps you can take. Now, let's return to one more powerful category: herbs and natural flavor boosters. I want to mention fenugreek. Fenugreek is a spice commonly used in Indian cuisine, and studies suggest it may help support testosterone and improve strength when combined with resistance training. You can find it as seeds, powder, or even as a supplement. Again, if you're considering supplementation, check with your healthcare provider first, but if you're cooking with it in moderation, it can be a flavorful addition with possible benefits. Another one is maca root, sometimes called Peruvian ginseng. Maca has been traditionally used to support energy, mood, and libido. While its direct impact on testosterone is still being studied, many people report improved vitality when including maca in their diet, usually in powder form added to smoothies or oatmeal. What I want you to see here is that there are so many natural ways to give your body the building blocks it needs. You're not at the mercy of declining hormones. You have the ability to influence your testosterone levels through daily choices. And remember, food is also about enjoyment. If you see eating for testosterone as a restrictive or boring chore, you won't stick with it. But when you view it as a way to nourish yourself with delicious, satisfying meals, it becomes exciting. Imagine savoring a perfectly cooked piece of salmon, enjoying a colorful salad with olive oil, garlic, and avocado, or treating yourself to a square of dark chocolate in the evening. These aren't sacrifices, they're upgrades. One of the best ways to make this sustainable is to focus on adding foods rather than just avoiding things. Yes, it's important to cut back on processed sugar, fried foods, and excessive alcohol. But instead of only thinking about restriction, think about addition. Add spinach to your meals, add pumpkin seeds to your snacks, add salmon to your weekly menu. The more nutrient-rich foods you bring in, the less room there will be for the things that hold you back. Now, let me circle back to something really important: mindset. Too often, people give up before they see results because they expect overnight changes. Testosterone levels don't usually transform in a single week, but over time, with consistency, your body will respond. You may first notice better energy, more stable mood, and improved recovery from exercise. Gradually, your muscle tone, strength, and even confidence can grow. Think of this as a long-term investment in yourself. I also want to remind you that everyone is different. Some people respond quickly to dietary changes, while others may need more time. Genetics, stress, sleep, and medical conditions all play a role. That's why it's important to approach this with patience and curiosity, not frustration. If you feel stuck, that's a great time to work with a healthcare professional who can run tests and give you a clearer picture of what's happening in your body. So where do you start? I recommend picking 2 or 3 of the foods we've talked about and committing to adding them into your meals this week. Maybe it's eggs for breakfast, salmon once or twice for dinner, and a handful of pumpkin seeds each day. Start small and build from there. Over time, layer in spinach, avocados, berries, and garlic. Within a few weeks, you'll have built an entirely new foundation for your health without feeling overwhelmed. Now, let me ask you again, because this is where real change happens. Which of these foods will you commit to trying this week? Leave your answer in the comments so we can encourage each other. Sometimes just writing down your commitment makes it more real and gives you the push to follow through. Before I wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final thought. Testosterone isn't just about muscles, energy, or libido. It's about quality of life. When your hormones are balanced, you feel more like yourself, more motivated, more resilient, more alive, and that ripple effect touches everything: your work, your relationships, your self-confidence, and your long-term health. So take this knowledge and use it. Start with your next meal. Choose foods that give your body what it truly needs. Over time, those small daily decisions will add up to big changes. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. I'm here to guide you, and there's a whole community of people who are on the same path. If you found this helpful, don't forget to share it with someone who could benefit too. And make sure you subscribe if you want more guidance on natural, science-backed ways to improve your health and well-being. You deserve to feel strong, energized, and fully alive. And with the right foods, you can give your body the tools to get there. So here's my challenge to you: take action today. Your future self will thank you.